DeLuca here. All right, today I'm going to be doing more of the Ceramac style straight pour. Basically, that means I'm using this kind of cup instead of a measuring cup. With a spout, it gives a different effect. It gives you these cool fingerlings. And I'm using the Tipsy Piggy recipe that was developed by the lovely and talented Gina for the pigments. So what that is, I'll tell you here. So the colors, we have the brand new Show Pony, which is an homage to the Show Pony. Jeremy from Massey Art Studios got his very own color. That's pretty groovy. So this is brand new and is being released this weekend for consumption by the public, and by consumption I mean purchasing, not eating. And we have Mermaid also from This Little Piggy. And so the way that these are mixed, I put some 91% alcohol in the bottom of my cup, enough to cover the bottom of the cup, and then I add the pigment to it and mix that up until it's a nice slurry, and then I added the mix pouring medium. If you would like to purchase mix pouring medium, you need to email Krista8974@gmail.com, and that is how you acquire this stuff. So that is Mermaid, that is Show Pony. This color here is a mixture of the DecoArt Americana Decor Metallics in 24 karat gold and Ivory Pearl. Ivory Pearl is the matte metallics. And it gives a nice softer gold. That's a different shade than the soft gold. You know, there's an actual soft gold. This is a little bit of a different shade. The sparkle in it is a little different. And so that should make cells. Should. Doesn't mean it absolutely will. I haven't tried this particular combination yet with this pouring medium, so we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Here I have some Prussian Blue by Liquitex Basics, and I have added just a bit of my base coat / background color to that. This is Titanium White and a mixture of some leftover paints to tint it. There is probably some Prussian Blue in there, some dioxazine purple, and perhaps a smidgen of magenta. Yeah, so that's just a mixture of several paints. It's more about the tint, and it's mostly the Titanium White, which I know is, you know, a great color for having as the background or base coat for a straight pour. The consistency that we're working with, this is about a 2.5 on my consistency scale. It is making a mound, but it does disappear pretty quickly. And as far as the amount of pouring medium in each one, the piggies, this is mostly pouring medium. The alcohol is used to basically wet the pigment so that it disperses easily into the pouring medium. The reason that you can't just use Floetrol is because Floetrol doesn't actually have, you know, like the polymer binders in it that a pouring medium would. It's more of a paint extender. So you're adding the Floetrol to a paint that already has binders in it. The pigments don't have binders, so you need something in there that has a binder. So you need to add some kind of pouring medium. Even if you are going to use Floetrol, you need to add some kind of pouring medium to it to act as a binder. Yeah, so that's mostly pouring medium. And then the rest of the paints are 1 part paint, 2 parts pouring medium, and then water is added until I get the consistency that I'm looking for. Before we get started, have you seen the Fluid Art inspiration cards? If you have, you can fast forward about a minute, but if you have not, what we have are 52 cards. There are 42 technique cards, and each technique card has an associated video here on YouTube that tells you everything you need to know, the exact paint brands, colors, consistency, the recipe, all of it. This box here, this is the picture of the particular painting in that video, and this box here has a tip for that particular technique. And here at the bottom, we have the color palette that was used in that painting. And then these 2 boxes can be used together as the basis of a 2-color palette. And you can just use those 2 colors and challenge yourself, or you can build off of those 2 colors. And there are also 8 bonus color palette cards. Each color palette card has 5 palettes. You can use all of the colors or just some of the colors, mix and match the bonus color palettes with the technique cards, and you have more combinations than you could ever paint in a lifetime. These are available at my website, ginadeluca.net, and also available at amazon.com. And if you get them from Amazon, please do leave feedback. It is very important over there for the sellers. All right, I'm going to start just by adding some of my background color to my cup, and I'm going to lay down my base coat. The reason we lay down a base coat is because we want something for our paints to slide around on. Your poured paints, that is. If you pour your puddle onto a naked canvas, something has to stick to the canvas. And so that is going to be the paint that hits the canvas first. So the paint that is on the edges of your puddle is going to be what hits it first as you're tilting, and then the paint that is closer to the center is going to roll over top of that. And sometimes some of the coolest stuff happens on the edges, and then you lose the option of keeping that in your composition because it's gone. And normally I cover my edges for straight pours first, but I've had pretty good luck with the mixed pouring medium, giving me good coverage on the sides. Sometimes Floetrol can get a little thin on the sides and edges. All right, my base coat is down. There is a little bit of shimmer in there, so I'm not exactly sure what's in this paint in particular. But I'm not going for boulder cells, so it's not quite as important that I know exactly what is in this paint, because I'm not really going for that reaction. So it's okay to use it just for the color. All right, so now I'm gonna put some paint in a cup. Always check your consistency before pouring. The sauce may thicken upon standing. All right. I'm going to be doing a couple of layers. And a bit more of that original color. Well, there are already some beautiful cells popping up, kind of making me wish I had just done a regular straight pour. This is going to be plenty of paint. I will be tilting some of this off, I'm sure. All right, so I'm gonna kind of try to come at this from an angle for a bit. And these little wiggles give you those cool fingerling formations, which I find rather nifty. I do seem to have a hard time with my dismount in these kind of cups. We'll see what happens. As I get towards the end of the cup, I go slower and get lower. Slow and low, that is the tempo. Can I get a semi Fibonacci going here? That's a meh on the dismount. I mean, it's okay. I'm just gonna put a little swirl in here because that just makes me happier. All right, let's give this baby a torch and pop these bubbles. And I'm just gonna let this sit for a minute. I'm gonna let any cells that want to pop up, I'm gonna give them an opportunity to do it now so they get stretched out when I tilt. So generally what happens is this area will get pop-up cells after it's stretched. We'll see if that is the case. And the bubbles keep popping up, just keep popping them with your torch. And you'll get them in your base coat too, keep popping those. Remember to keep that torch moving and don't get too close. You don't want to scorch the paint. You just want that heat to pop the bubbles. And a lot of times what will happen is you pop those bubbles and it's bringing up paint from layers underneath with it. And if it's a hydrophobic paint, like the DecoArt paints are, it will push away the surrounding paint after it pops up, and you can start seeing some of those popping up in there. The two most important things in having a painting that you are happy with, the end result, the two most important things is patience and making sure that your canvas is level. Because if your canvas is not level and you have the most perfect painting, you're going to walk away, you're going to come back, and it's not going to look the same at all. If you have cells and you walk away and you come back and you're like, where did my cells go? Perhaps it all got stretched off of one side. You will see perhaps one side has more drips than the rest of it. Your canvas isn't level. I use these things on the bottom of my canvas. They're cup hooks. C-hooks, sometimes they're called. So I screw them into the bottom of my canvas, and then it makes it easy to level. My work surface isn't level, so I can't rely on that. I have to level every canvas with a level. You cannot eyeball it. Your eyeballs will lie. And it only needs to be a little bit off to really mess up your painting. So very, very important to make sure that your canvas is level and be patient. Two most important things. And always have tweezers on hand to get rid of your cat hairs. That will inevitably wind up in your painting if you have a cat. And sometimes even if you don't, you're like, where did that cat hair come from? I don't have a cat. Who knows? All right. Just going to center this a bit, figure out what direction I'm going first. I think I'm going to break tradition and come this way first. Usually I go that way. I want to go that way. Let's go crazy. And this is where patience is important. Even if you have a base coat down, if you tilt too quickly, the center of your painting will roll over top of the edges of your painting. And you will lose your composition. Patience is paramount. I cannot express that enough. All right, and I'm going to head back to the other corner. Back to the center. Always bring the weight of your paint back to center before changing directions. You will know where the weight of your paint is because that's where it is moving the fastest. So whatever area seems to be moving the fastest when you tilt, that's where your weight is. You want to use the weight of your paint to push your composition around. All right. And then bringing the paint back to center again. So I've got some weird reaction going on in here. I don't know. I was pretty sure that the leftover paint that I was using was mixed with pouring medium. And in fact, I even added some more mix to it just to make sure. But I'm beginning to think there may have been some Floetrol in here. And I've not had a great deal of luck with Floetrol and mix together. Yeah, and it's not just pigments that are doing it. It's the DecoArt. And it's interesting, it's broken up into pieces. It almost looks like gold foil the way it's broken up. I have never seen that before. Very interesting. And I have a whole bunch of mica coming my way from the folks at Color Art. If you saw my last painting, my last video where I rescued a gigantic painting with mica flakes, you know, should this painting, like, parts of it be beautiful and the rest of it is like, I don't know what happened there, I can always just bring out those mica flakes. I have never seen this before. I'm gonna let this sit for a minute. I'm gonna bring you in for a close-up. And y'all can tell me if you've ever seen this happen. Back in a few. Okay, here it is. This is a very unusual outcome for me. Check that out. Is it me or is that very strange? They look like mica flakes or pieces of foil, like gold foiling. Is it me or is that really weird? Very unusual outcome. I don't know how I feel about this. Y'all, can you tell me in the comments how I'm supposed to feel about this? And it looks like there was like a piece of schmutz somewhere that I missed. Got those weird little squiggly things. So this may be getting rescued with some mica flakes. We'll see what happens. But there's just some weird stuff going on here. You know, and I know that pigments can flock sometimes, you know, where it kind of breaks up. But I see there's more like evidence of schmutz, but I don't see the schmutz. But the fact that the DecoArts did that, that's really weird. So I'm wondering if in the color that I used for my base coat, if I did have Floetrol in there and it got weird on me because there isn't Floetrol in any of the other colors. You can't use Floetrol in just one color. It has to be, if you're using it, it needs to be in all of the colors. But yeah, so that's where we are. Hope you learned something. I sure did. I mean, I don't know if I learned something as much as I have questions. But that's what we do. We experiment. This was an experiment. There are no failures when it comes to experiments, only learning opportunities. Please do like, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff. Do check out the description box below for links to my PayPal tip jar if you feel so inclined. Also, all of my affiliate links, DecoArt, we have Amazon, Arteza, and now Color Art. I'm now a Color Art affiliate as well. I feel like I'm missing somebody. But yeah, you can find the links to most of the things that are used in this painting. You can find links to it in the description box. But yeah. Also in the description box, you will find the link to my website, GinaDeLuca.net, where you can find my art and music and the fluid art inspiration cards for sale. Of course, the cards are also on Amazon. And you will find the link to our Facebook group. Go make some art. Join us there. Post your masterpieces. Ask your questions. Get some inspiration. A good time is had by most. It is the internet after all. All right. That is it for me for today. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Now go make some art.